eSIMstudios, Taylor Bell. So the exodus of OnePlus has begun. So yesterday I posted a video stating OnePlus is dying and/or OnePlus is dead, and this time it's for real. Now I don't bring you this story and/or this news with happiness, because OnePlus will always hold a special place in my heart. But the company and/or the brand is dying, specifically in key global markets, and it begun today. So yesterday we got news that OnePlus is going to recap yesterday's video, OnePlus is going to exit global markets, meaning it will only be sold in select markets, and it's very select. So we got word they were only going to be selling OnePlus phones from here on out in China and India. And here's the thing. In India, they're only going to be selling budget phones, budget OnePlus phones. So that means the only flagship phones from OnePlus are going to be sold in China. And you can say, well, what's the big deal? I'll just go buy a OnePlus 16 on Giztop and have it flashed with the global ROM. Well, guess what? There is no global ROM, or there will not be any global ROM. It'll only have color OS, so you can't flash it to anything else. In the band selection, the 5G, the 4G band will be essentially non-existent. So it won't make any sense to buy one or use one here in the States. Now, we got more news today that OnePlus has already sent out severance packages to key executives, and the OnePlus India CEO stepped down today. So if there was any little sliver of speculation, well, maybe there's a small chance this news isn't true, I'm hoping for the best. No, it has begun. We got they're already dismantling. They already begun the dismantling of the company. So it's unfortunately, it's true. The India OnePlus CEO, Robin Liu, stepped down today and is actually going back to China to incorporate a role either with OnePlus and/or with OPPO to focus on their China operations. So unfortunately, this will be the end of OnePlus, at least here in the United States. They are not selling any more devices. Now, they're going to exit the global markets starting in April. So what's today? The 24th? So essentially in a week, they're going to start backing out of countries, meaning sales, meaning where do you go to buy a OnePlus device? Well, Best Buy, obviously. Well, they're not going to sell any more new OnePlus 15s at Best Buy, or their website, right? Well, they're going to shut down their OnePlus USA website. In the UK, they're going to exit and/or have these retailers online sell the remaining stock of whatever OnePlus 15s they have, and that'll be it. So starting next month is when you're going to see them exit global markets. That's a lot faster than what we all initially anticipated. Normally, these companies, when you hear news of this, it may take a few months, or stuff might take a little while to get in motion. But it sounds like BBK, who's the parent company of OnePlus and OPPO, look, the leaking faucet of revenue of that business entity has been leaking for quite a while. And now with all this news starting to come out, you finally see the beginning of BBK to pull the plug on OnePlus. And it sucks, right? It sucks. Now, good news is that we're going to be getting OPPO. Now, this is not a coincidence, right? This is not a coincidence that yesterday we get news that OPPO is opening up sales globally, which means here in the US, very excited for that. Don't think it was a coincidence that we got both the OPPO news that they're going to open up sales globally, and specifically the United States, and two, you also got the news yesterday that OnePlus is done for good this time. It's not a coincidence. And I think I got a lot of comments on my OnePlus is dead video. And if you watched that video, if you're one of the people that did comment, or maybe you didn't, but you're wondering, damn, what do I do? Because I got a lot of people saying, well, I love OnePlus phones, and I do too. And I got people saying, well, I bought my whole family OnePlus phones, or I've been buying OnePlus since the OnePlus 7 Pro. Me too. So, it sucks. However, they're throwing you a bone, and in comes the OPPO brand. OPPO Find X9, Find X9 Pro, Find X9 Ultra. The Find X9 and X9 Pro look identical to a OnePlus 15. And here's the catch. It's better than the OnePlus 15. It's like, better? Yeah, it has the world, like, in the top 1 or 2 best camera phones in the world. So you're going to get a phenomenal camera experience. Now, OnePlus, what did DMXO Mark rate the OnePlus 15 when it was launched? I mean, they're not bad cameras by any means, and they were definitely better than what reviewers said. I'm like one of the few YouTubers that said, these cameras are actually pretty good. Now, are they the very best? No, but guess what? The OPPO is. So you see what I'm saying? It's going to have similar software. It's going to look the same. It's going to be fluid. It's buttery smooth, just like your OnePlus 15. A lot of the time, they share the developers, so you'll get monthly updates. You'll get... now, we don't know if the OPPO Find X9, X9 Pro, X9 Ultra are going to have Color OS or Oxygen OS. Here's what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to have Color OS. However, don't freak out. I think it's going to be geared for the global market, meaning it's not going to have any Mandarin on there. It's not going to have any uninstallable apps like my OnePlus 13 that had Color OS on it. The China version had some apps you could not install, and some of the settings were in Mandarin, even when you changed the language to English. So that kind of sucked. But Color OS is identical to Oxygen OS. So don't freak out. You're still going to have the OnePlus experience. You're still going to have the every setting under the sun. You're still going to have all the customizations as Oxygen OS. It's just going to be the global version of Color OS. I think that's what they're going to do. I don't know. Again, just to recap for the news, we got word OnePlus was dying yesterday. We got word OPPO was opening up global sales to compensate. And then today we get word that the India OnePlus CEO is stepping down. He's moving back to China to incorporate a role in OPPO and or BBK back in Shenzhen. I believe that's their headquarters in China. And OnePlus is going to start exiting the global market here in about a week. And again, no more OnePlus 15s. Now, at Best Buy, now I'm sure they still have some in stock that you can buy, and they'll probably still sell the used ones at a lower price, but no new stock. They're gonna the retailers online will just try to sell their stock, and looks like that's it. Starting next week, and again, the OnePlus brand technically will still be around, but they're only selling budget phones in India. And the OnePlus brand and or phones, like the new OnePlus 15T, kind of had my fingers crossed it would be released here. No, only in China. And then OnePlus 16 that comes out, you'll see leaks, but only in China. And it will not have the global ROM again. It'll just have Oxygen OS Chinese version. But so technically, it's not going to die, but it's essentially, look, it's essentially a very, very small brand now. But moving forward, look, all you OnePlus fans and OnePlus users, now is when you're going to have to transition to OPPO. And as much as you might be worried, you might be a little weary of making the move, don't be, because what it's doing, remember, BBK, the parent company, owns OPPO and OnePlus. So they're essentially a brother and sister brand, right? And dare I say, you might not be able to tell the difference if you start using a OnePlus phone and an OPPO phone. Everything's going to look fairly similar except the logo on the back of the phone. You know what I'm saying? So this is a good thing. It sucks, but I think overall, I think this is the right move. Look, you at some point, I know a lot of you might not be business owners. I've worked as an employee and an employer, and for business on BBK, and I'm not necessarily taking their side, but because I don't want OnePlus to go, but what are they supposed to do with a brand, I hate to say this, with a dying brand, right? Your revenue is simply not as big as your expenses. Your expenses are up here year after year after year after year after flagship after flagship after flagship, but your revenue not up. So you're taking a loss every single year. At some point, you got to make a change. At some point, you have to make drastic measures, and that's what they're doing. It appears OPPO is a thriving brand, so why not introduce that to the United States market, to the UK market, and continue its growth. So I, for one, am sad. I'll always keep a OnePlus in high regards up there. I might even buy a OnePlus device just for shits and giggles to keep with me. The OnePlus 15, I'm talking about a classic phone. If you have a OnePlus 15 like I do, they will continue updates. They guaranteed us, and I'm going to reach out to OnePlus across social media accounts and a couple of contacts that I have. I'm going to reach out to OnePlus. I don't know if they're going to respond, but what I'm going to do for you, the viewer, I'm going to try to reach out to OnePlus and see if I can get a representative, see if I can interview somebody on my channel, and see if they can fill me in with any information. And also I want OnePlus to guarantee you, the viewer and user, that your OnePlus 15 will be updated, meaning they're gonna back out of the US market, but they've already sold you a phone. They need to keep their promise and update these phones for, 5 years, 6 years of software? No, 5 years. What was it? 5 years software, 6 years security updates, something like that. So stay tuned to the channel. I'm going to reach out to OnePlus and I'll let you know what they say. Peace.